Bienvenidos, benvenuti, welcome to the Music Polyglot channel. Now, this being the Music Polyglot channel, you'll find good quality subtitles down there. Today we'll be looking at Treasure by Bruno Mars. We'll break it down to show you everything you need to know so you can play the song as it sounds on the record. Now, if you're a professional guitarist or a very advanced player, well, that was all you need to know. That's all there is to the song, so go get 'em, Tiger. For the rest of us, we'll break things down. Let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to start with the verse. Let me play it for you slowly so that you can see what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so you can probably tell that we only have 3 chords in the verse. Our first chord is a C minor triad. C, E flat, G. Alright, so our index is on the 8th fret. Our ring finger, our 3rd finger, is playing the D string, or the 4th string, on the 10th fret. You get that C note. And your index is double stopping, or partially barring if you will, strings 2 and 3. You have to be able to play both at the same time with finger 1. And ideally you won't be fretting the top E string. You don't want that one to ring out. Now if it happens to ring out, it's no big deal. If you've been looking at other YouTube videos to learn this song before you got confused, you might have seen that everyone else was calling this chord, the first chord, an A flat major 7 chord, probably even playing it like this. And now comes this polyglot guy telling you to play a C minor. So what's going on here? What's going on is that the guitar isn't playing a full A flat major 7 chord. The guitar is playing a C minor triad. You're only playing 3 notes. C, E flat, G. That's a C minor triad. Now, the bass is actually playing A flat. That changes everything, doesn't it? Yeah. When you play those 3 notes, but the bass note is A flat, you hear that chord as an A flat major 7. And that's what it's called. So it's correct to say that that full chord, when you hear it, it's an A flat major 7 chord. That's absolutely right. But we're not playing the full chord. We're only playing what's called the upper structure. So we're playing the top 3 notes. We're not playing the bass note. So from here onwards, I'm going to be referring to the chords that we are going to be playing as guitarists, not really the chords as they are when you add the bass note underneath. For our second chord, we'll just take that same shape. So stay where you are and drop 2 frets. 1, 2. We're going to be playing B flat major. Now, your ring finger, your 3rd finger, can stay exactly where it is. Your 2nd finger, your middle finger, can play the G string, the 3rd string on the 7th fret, so on the dot. And your index doesn't need to be double stopping anymore. It can just simply play the 2nd string on the B string on the 6th fret. Again, 3 notes, a triad, B flat major. Cool. Again, ideally, you're not letting the high E ring out. Lovely. And the 3rd and last chord in our verse is the exact same shape. So again, we're going to stay where we are and just drop 2 frets. Ready? 1, 2. Ta-da! A flat major. It's an A flat major triad. Again, you don't want the high E ringing out. Okay, A flat major. Okay, so we really need to talk about the strumming pattern, about the rhythm before we move on, don't we? The first thing I'm going to say is that you need to make sure that your hand is going like this. Okay, so if you have your beats 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, your hand needs to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. essentially playing 4 strums in each beat. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. It's really important. In order to make this more manageable, we're going to break down the whole chord sequence, which is this. That's the full chord sequence. We're going to break it down into 3 fragments. Are you ready for fragment number 1? It goes like this. 1 up, 3 up, and. Right, translating that to downs and ups, that's down, up, down, up, down, down. Okay, the direction of the strumming is actually quite important, so try to get it. Lovely, that's fragment 1. Fragment 2 then goes 3, 4, 1, up. Okay, that's fragment number 2, so that's down, 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 up. Cool. And fragment number 3. So that's 3 and 3, 4. Down, 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 down. Lovely. All right. So all together we have. Actually, do you want to play it with me? Let's play it together, shall we? Count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it, then it goes back to the beginning. It's really important to get this pattern right now because this is the main pattern for the whole song. So in the chorus, as well as in the bridge, it's the same strumming pattern, the same rhythm. So I would definitely spend some time getting it right now to avoid frustration later. Okay, don't move on until you have it down. Now, some of you will probably have picked up that it's not just the strumming of the chords. There's actually some muted strums or ghost notes in there as well. I wouldn't worry too much about these because they will come to you naturally as you get the rhythm right. But anyway, for those of you who want to make sure that you have it right, see if this makes sense. Right, it's only a couple of in very key places. Don't add more than you need. It's not going to make it sound better. You don't want this. Okay, you don't want that. This is not some messy funk song. This is pop, and pop is polished. Pop is very precise. No added business, no funny malarkey going on. So let's talk about the chorus now. The first thing I'll say is that I hope you spent some time working out that strumming pattern, the rhythm, because it's exactly the same in the chorus and the bridge. The chord sequence that I'm going to show you now is exactly the same as well in the chorus as it is in the bridge. So the guitar just keeps playing the same thing when it hits the bridge. So let me first show you how that goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's talk about those chords. We have 4 chords. We have an A flat major triad, a G minor triad, we have a B flat major triad, and a C minor triad. Okay, slowly. So the first chord, A flat major. You're actually playing a D major shape. Can you see that? It's a D major shape, and you are on the 8th fret. Okay, so you get this. D major shape on the 8th fret. That's chord number 1. Chord number 2 is a D minor shape Okay, D minor shape on the 6th fret. So your index is on the 6th fret. It goes back to the A flat. Okay, before going up to the same shape. So D shape, 2 frets further up. So now you're on the 10th fret. Okay, this is essentially a B flat major triad. Okay. And the 4th chord is again going to be a D minor shape with your index on the 11th fret. So that's, okay, it's a D minor triad. So remember that the rhythm is exactly the same as in the verses, down to the mute strums, the ghost notes, everything's exactly the same. So if we put all that together, and if you want to play along, let's try it. This is how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lovely, excellent. So when you get to the bridge, you just keep playing exactly the same as you've been playing in the choruses, right? The part is exactly the same, so nothing new there. Let's move on to our last little bit. Right, so we've left the best till last. Yes, that marvelous chord. So, the way this works in this particular song is that really you only need 3 notes. Okay, you need your index on the 2nd string, B string, 4th fret. You need your 2nd finger, middle finger, on the G string, 3rd string, 5th fret. And you need your pinky or your 3rd finger, whichever one you prefer. I'm going to use the pinky. And I actually suggest you do the same. I'll show you why in a second. So the pinky on the high E string, 6th fret. If you play just that, you'll be absolutely fine, because the bass will be playing the B flat that you need. Okay? So you're fine by doing that. Now, you can clearly hear on the record, especially at the beginning, right, on the first, you can hear that there is definitely a guitar playing that B flat note. So I'll show you how to play those 3 and also play that B flat bass note. So far we have those 3 notes, right? Your C, E flat and B flat. We've deliberately left our 3rd finger free. Well, now that 3rd finger, your ring finger, can go all the way down to reach the B flat bass note. Okay, now really important thing about this is you don't want to hear the 4th string, the D string, or the A string ring out. You don't want that. Okay, so make sure that with your 3rd finger you're muting both at the same time as you have that clean B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you're essentially strumming all downstrokes. Now you have a tiny up, an upstroke before you go. Right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Quick tip about this. To get that really punchy, make sure that you release tension as soon as you've strummed, without lifting anything. You don't want to lift any of your fingers, just by releasing tension on the left hand. Okay, this chord is also very important as a transition between the verse and the chorus. So you have that. How does that work? First, you have the top 3 notes that I showed you. And you go. So that's down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. First time without the bass note, second time with the bass note if you can. Otherwise you can just repeat the same thing twice. Okay? Unlike the intro, here you're letting everything ring out. Except after the very last strum where you want to cut things short. Alright, that chord is also used as a transition between the chorus and the verse again. Here it goes. Alright, this time did you notice how you don't really play the down, up, down, up, down rhythm here. Just go down, 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 down. You can play it as a crescendo as well, so you're getting progressively louder if you can. And only when you're at the bass note do you play that rhythm again. Down, up, down, up, down. So that's 1 and 2 and up, and 4. Alright? Maybe easier to remember it as down, up, down, up, down, down. That's why it's so important to keep that down, up, down, up consistent that I told you at the beginning. Right, your hand is always going 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, therefore playing won't feel that hard. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so that you get notified when more videos come up. If you're after tabs or sheet music, extra tips or more in-depth details about the song, hell, even a consultation, all that is available to all my patrons. So become one yourself, following the link below. That's it. Thanks for watching till the end. And I'll see you next time. Arrivederci, hasta la prossima. Au revoir.